because I'm from Niger Delta. But I saw a need. And the reason I started thinking about that was because I was thinking about biofuel, converting the oil into biofuel 20 years ago. Because then Malaysia was already doing it. And so I was excited. And I talked to my partners and I said, guys, yeah, we can do it, it's possible we can do it in Nigeria. But at the time, you had the Malaysian palm, which was one of the best. And so we had to import them and we're planting it. But it's funny because along the line, I realized that we didn't even have sufficient palm oil to feed us as Nigerians. So how was I now going to be producing oil palm on a 99 hectare of farmland and now convert it to biofuel so that we also use it to run vehicles? And so I had a change of heart. And I said, we're going to do the oil palm, selling in drums and covering the Niger Delta as it costs Bible, rivers, cross river, delta. 20 years ago. I was young. And I had, when CBN was training, they used to do their trainings at the time. We were trained. But I was so excited. My blood was hot, as they call it. I got tired. I said, maybe I should do pineapple processing. I remember Chita cannot do what at the time. What maybe I should do that? I said, local because of how they are reared. You allow them to pay each task. All of that peradventure you were sitting here. Because I ended up not doing that. I didn't do any of the family. You are sitting here, I'm an environmental consultant. That's what I do. And it is the best decision that I made. But it started from passion, wanting things and I said all of that to say that prevention is a pep talk. And you know in yourself. You're taking the space of somebody who has been praying to God. Sir, I don't think for anybody to choose to ban. Because just like God has alternatives, there are always replacements. Because you don't want to be here and money's government is spending resources. We're talking about billions of naira. And at the end of the day, all the knowledge gained and all the done is put to waste 10 years, 5 years, 2 years of life. You're not going to be progressing. Oh, you did that at the back front. I used to be there. Because if you're just here, because it's just about numbers, then there's a challenge. Because tomorrow, a year from now, by the time you are now being empowered fully, you're going to run your business down. Especially when you know it is not in you. God has put in each and every one of us a vision and a dream. But sometimes circumstances makes us to detour. But the beauty about it is, He still has a way of, it's just like the Google map. It will recalculate again and say, no, you've taken the wrong turn. He'll take you back. But I'm saying, you're not going to be taking the space of somebody that God has originally ordained to be here that will now be a blessing, not just to the plateau, not just to Nigeria, but to the world at large. Because from here you grow, and then you become an entrepreneur, and then before you know it, you're leaving the shores of Nigeria, and you're making foreign currency. You're earning in foreign currency. So it is important that you think deeply about it. It brings me to character. Character, everybody talks about character. I am coming from a place of service. I have served from my youthful days. I always wanted to be at the forefront. Where I given an opportunity, I said, no, sir, please. Can somebody else do it? It is not for humility. It's because I know that I do not know enough to take that position. Because one of the things that people lack as youth is not having a teachable spirit. Your inability to learn because you already know everything. Before your leader is saying, you say, no, I know it. He has not even concluded. But you know it. How do you know it when you have not heard the end of the matter? What are your values? I'm a rustic person. I'm somebody I wish I could stay here. In the feminist area means beauty. Plateau. You guys don't know what you have. And I'm sure you may not be aware that a lot of strangers are coming into the land to harness your resources. You don't want to be a stranger. You don't want to be the one that is serving strangers when they got as boys and girls, when they're ready and you're paying for the service. So this is a wake-up call. You need to think deeply. You don't want to lose what you have. You don't want to lose. Can you sit down and do a self-help? People just say, oh, this guy just wants it. And you can take it to the bank. Give her the responsibility, she will do it. Can people see that of your amongst? Because of anybody who is not successful in business, you will have to be a shrewd business person. And we've always misinterpreted that word. When they say shrewd, they think it's being wicked. No, you've got to be fair, decisive. It doesn't make you a bad person, but you want your business to succeed. And you must be able to have that negotiating power. Not to be so uptight that you want to walk away. You should be able to sit a person down and let them understand. That is why I think it should be done. With respect, being polite. Because in this day of, what do you call it? Everybody is Googling. So while you are sitting down, talking and training people, they are Googling. But if alternatives to everything. Because just like I'm talking about character, some other person will come here and see it in another dimension. So you must be able to work together. Regardless that at the end of the day, when you leave this place, you should be able to, like you kind of cluster family. It's not competition. If at the end of the day you get your hectares, I know you've arrived. How you arrived? That you have 100 hectares. That's 22 plots. And you think you've arrived with just 22 plots. And then you start talking to people on Google. Because some people are already living it. They haven't gotten there. They're already planning how to deal with people. But there's something the Bible says. I'm sorry, I'm a Christian. I'm leaving. The Bible says, I'm not sorry about that. The Bible says truth. But I think everything is just changing. And maybe in Plateau, God is now wanting the men to take the lead. Perhaps that's what is happening. Work on yourself. I used to be a person, but in my own days, I was confronted by a child about 5 years old. Auntie, this thing I was embarrassed. I cried in my room and I said, God, please take this thing away from me. Every successful businessman you see, forget the charade you see in the public. In the closet, they have their spiritual. They have a connection with regardless of who they are. All the big men who are doing well in different sectors are coming from where? You see that's behind the scene. It is the price that they pay. You're going to learn. They've given you step 1, step 2, step 3. And you think that is enough. You need to be in tune with your creator or whatever you are spiritually to be able to guide you to navigate the waters of the agricultural sector. Because this is an aspect that God holds dearly. Because you're going to be producing. They don't know how it's come. In the town, they don't know what's going on here. So if you do not have a clean heart, if your motives are not right for being here, then at the end of the day, I am even doing your business. And I keep saying that you have a governor. Everywhere I go to, I tell people, you have a governor who has empathy and who holds the youth of the state. It is always about the youth. It is always, and that's why when I actually took a look at government, I could see a lot of young people cutting across sectors. If this were my state, you'll be seeing people 60 years. I kid you not. I've attended trainings. The young people are not, they don't want to give them opportunity because people buy the slots. They buy it off the youth without the youth knowing. You've been given this opportunity. Your character, what are your values? What are your values really? Why have you asked yourself, am I really going to go through with this eventually? Am I going to be on TikTok and on Instagram and people will be so proud of what I have become? And you'll be able to give God the glory and thank the Plateau State government for giving you an opportunity. See, they say no pain, no gain. You guys are even here. I'm seeing you guys, you have television. Yeah, wonderful. You were watching football and listening to music. Come on. It just goes to show that the state will do everything to make you comfortable. Do you have integrity? Are you a consistent person? That's what integrity is about. If he comes here and he picks this thing and they ask him, did you pick it? And he says, yes, I picked it. Then tomorrow they ask him, are you sure you didn't pick it? He says, no, but he's the one picking it. You're not consistent. Because I think it's important, sir, that you must also consider character. There has to be evaluation. It's just like we keep crying that our politicians at the federal level should be giving mental health check. It's important that we must. No, I'm being very realistic. There has to be some appraisal, character appraisal, of how people conduct themselves here and how they're able to, besides just all of the whole agric focus, you're observing character of every individual. So that at the end of the day, such a person is rewarded. And I am saying this, the person has to be rewarded. So you're going to do first, second, third. So that besides whatever they are getting, it's going to be a bonus to your character appraisal. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do eventually at the end of the day when it's ends, but whoever comes first, I will support first. I can assure you that, especially at the federal level, young people are getting export license, and also processing their produce, where they either dry them and then they export them. The opportunities are there. Please don't blow it. It is vast. You have no idea. The market is huge. The demand is high. That when you eventually get what is due, all you need to do is pray to God that the land remains fertile. Pray to God if you're going to go into animal husbandry, that the cows, whether the goats, the sheep, whatever it is, will continue to multiply. Because some of you can decide to go into dairy farm. Just look at, cows were eating meat, haba. Let us also produce this milk and then sell them, export them. Most of the you don't make comments when they wasted your time, because some people are thinking it's about money sharing. Just let us just endure. When it gets to the D-Day, you should just give us the money. I'm going to go and buy one camera and become a photographer and start doing digital. Please, I have personally succeeded. Forget about what you see. I'm a field person. I'm a consultant. You know what it is to be a waste manager? I'm always out there. That's my job. And I'm happy. I'm proud of it. Because I'm making a change. The family was not for me. Because I started it 20 years ago. It wasn't for me. And that's why I started by saying, please, let it not be a case that you're sitting on the seat meant for somebody in your local government. And it's never too late. You can always see the coordinators privately and say, honestly, I don't think I can go through this. Can you get a replacement? Don't disgrace yourself. I have somebody in my LGA who has been fasting, praying, because they're passionate about this. Because some of you here, your focus is the end game. That end game. Be rest assured with the kind of essay that you have, and His Excellency that you have, Mr. Yari, that if you can just be focused, You'll be shocked that you will see private individuals from the private sector who will be interested to come and say, okay, the governor has done this for the first 100. We are giving this. Because this is a sector which, of course, I'm sure you're aware that the artists are aware they're excited about. But if people have shown tenacity and commitment, because it's going to be a case of, it's just one of those politics. It's about being self-sufficient and be able to also employ people, create jobs for people by extension. You expand. Because God is blessing you now so you can be a blessing to your people, to Nigeria, and to the world. I thank you so much for the opportunity, and I ask that God will continue to guide
you. Please, a thunderous round of applause. Thank you. Now, let me say most sincerely, it came very timely, and we deeply appreciate you for this you have done. Money cannot do. Character, a man of character, and from your wisdom, you talk of your path will be guided. You would like that, and I know that will benefit you. Thank you very much. Please clap for me. I am so passionate in saying this to you is because I had mentioned this to them in this hall. Every batch, this is the number 800 of the youths on the platform that are here this time. We have 2 more sets to go, that is 1,000. And we've spoken over and over about character. Key thing now, emphasis. I don't know what God is doing, and the emphasis on the children that He brings with character. And you take all. Of art. The humility she has mentioned, to have content is very more to do this. And all of us restless in thinking of best ways to ensure that this program does not only end in this year, continues next year, and even stretching the tenure of the next year. So the great thing is that now we're advocating as well that we can only achieve this if we use active work in the unity. No practice is about ethnicity, and ethnicity have divided us, party have divided us, but we back from here to our father who emphasized that we must make sure it is not a practice. It is not a practice. And all here across particulars and across all the ethnic nations, and we are starting the movement here. And so what is very one of the discussions we have to do. So last week, I said we went and we brought APC youths that we don't our PDP youth and APC. That the APC we are going to make mockery of them that it is because we government, this president is from Accra, we want the Accra mandated us that we must make sure that we do across party. And I do that. We do not know the leader that is leading us. Government has moved from the resources to the action of the leader to save the power. So let me give us like our God, our Father, the project as always, because you must take it. You cannot come here and not meet the outcome. The one because I see last and the one